Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Week 6 Commissioner's Address for the Border NFL Gurus. What a week we had. Now we're starting to get some separation in the league. Our top dogs are maybe no longer our top dogs, and some of our bottom feeders are starting to climb their way up to the top. So we got a lot of moving and shaking going on, and it was just a really exciting week all in all. Gonna do a quick recap of Week 6 here, and we're gonna kick things off with Joe Buck Yourself versus the Mighty Ducks. Joe Buck Yourself taking this one 132 to 108, and picking up his third win in a row, which doesn't happen very often for Joe Buck Yourself. Don't like to string together too many wins at one time, but Joe Buck Yourself led by Deshaun Watson, Jordan Howard, and Jason Pierre-Paul putting up 15, which is always nice to see. Mighty Ducks led by DeMarco Murray, Evan Ingram, and their kicker, but it just wasn't enough again. So Mighty Ducks falls in this one to leave them with a pitiful 1-4 record, and 1-5 record, and Joe Buck Yourself jumps up to 4-2. Moving over to the Dell Beckhams versus Billy Large. Billy Large picking up the W on this one, 118 to 87. Billy Large led by Kirk Cousins with a solid 32, highest quarterback output of the week. And Le'Veon Bell starting to show signs of life here with 25 points. And the Dell Beckhams, without Beckham, not looking good, putting up a mediocre 87 points. That offense needs a little bit of help. But maybe he'll get it figured out. But the loss takes him down to 5-1, first loss of the season, and that jumps Billy Large up to 4-2. Moving over to Vic This versus the Panty Raiders. Panty Raiders taking this one quite easily, 137 to 73. Even after a 2-point performance from Jameis Winston, who left that game with an injury. His team more than adequately carried the weight as defense with a massive outing. 20 points for Cameron Jordan, 12 points for Telvin Smith, and another 12.5 from his other linebacker, D. Jones. I don't know who the fuck that is. But by far the best defensive output we've seen this season, and it propels him to victory, moving him up to 4-2 and dropping Vic This down to 3-3 with his third straight loss. So hopefully he can pull out of this death spin that he's in. Moving over to Hanging with Hernandez versus Clug the Plug. This was a tight one. Hanging with Hernandez taking this one 97.72 to 97.74. It was after the game score adjustment, actually, that gave him the win in this one. So led by Carson Palmer, he was really the only bright spot. Both teams, neither one of them cracked 100, so it wasn't a real shootout. But Hanging with Hernandez climbing up to 3-3, and Clug the Plug not looking so good. Moving over to Rosterbation versus Rays Finkles. Rosterbation taking this one 121 to 106. Race Finkles having to try and rely on Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, and that ain't getting it done. Fournette had a nice day, but he can't carry the entire team. On the flip side of that, Rosterbation had big days from Mark Ingram, Mike Evans, Golden Tate, and Christian McCaffrey. Nice day for his offense all in all. So that moves Rosterbation up to 4-2, but drops Race Finkles down to 3-3. And last but not least, Suck My Ditka versus Rogers Dodgers. Suck My Ditka taking this one 108 to 95, led by Matt Stafford, Will Fuller, and Todd Gurley. Rogers Dodgers, tough loss. Aaron Rodgers, presumably done for the season, getting surgery on that collarbone. Hey, what do you do? Gronk had a nice day, and that was really about it for him. Does he have a backup quarterback? Currently does not carry a backup quarterback on his team, so that could leave him scrambling. Either way, Dodgers drops down to 2-4, and Suck My Ditka jumps up to 2-4. So as things sit right now, Roster Bashan, Panty Raiders, Joe Buck, yourself, all locked in a three-way tie at 4-2 for the lead in the Rockstar division. And followed up by Rays Finkles and Vic This in a 3-3, and the Mighty Ducks dropped down to 1-5. Moving over to the Benchwarmer division, Iredell Beckham's at 5-1, still leading the way. Followed by Billy Large at 4-2, Hanging with Hernandez at 3-3. Rogers Dodgers Suck My Ditka tied at 2-4, and Clug the Plug bringing up the rear at 1-5. Fun fact: Panty Raiders, Joe Buck, yourself separated by less than by 5 points between third and fourth in the league. So she is going to be a barn burner all the way to the end, I'm sure. Another fun fact: Mighty Ducks would have beat 6 other teams this week if they wouldn't have if they would have had a more favorable schedule. So that's a tough one. But what do you do, right? So moving over to our blowout of the week. Well, that one belongs to one Mr. Derek Flash. He got pumped by 64 points this week. So that is a tough one. When you put up 73, though, what do you expect, right? So, Mr. Derek Flash, you are our blowout of the week. It might be consecutive weeks. I forget. I'll have to go back to the video. And our Jackass of the week, I didn't really look ahead too much in this one, but I'm going to give it to... Oh, well, we can't proceed without the appropriate sounds. Our Jackass of the week goes to Clug the Plug this week. You know, sometimes you gotta wonder what a guy's doing with that team, and if he thinks Trevor Siemian or Mitch Trubisky is going to carry him through, even on a bye week, it's not going to happen. You just got to make better choices, and that's all there is to it. So, Mr. Garvey, you are our Jackass of the week. Looking ahead to week 7, went to week 8 there. Joe Buck yourself versus Vic This. Can Joe Buck yourself bang off his 4th straight win? Hopefully put himself in sole possession of first place in the Rockstar division. Hanging with Hernandez versus Billy Large. This will be a good one. This is our 7 versus 5 seed. Hanging with Hernandez, a 7 seed. This should be a dandy. Rays Finkles and Panty Raiders. This is our 3 versus 6 seed and projected for a tight one. 2 points. Clug the Plug versus Rogers Dodgers. Clug the Plug better pull out a W here. He's, as we like to say, fucked. Iredell Beckham's versus Suck My Ditka. Suck My Ditka also needing a win desperately. Pull them to 3-4. And Roster Bashan versus the Mighty Ducks. Hey, what else needs to be said? Mighty Ducks need a win as well. So we've got some good matchups going on. Buys are still continuing. Massive injuries again. Really going to start throwing a wrench into people's teams. But hey, that's all part of the joys of fantasy, right? So until next time, keep playing that wire. All hail the commish.